Don't be mad at Caitlin Clark. She's getting $28 million. Don't they want sisters to get paid, or they don't want a white girl to get paid first? I think that's what it is.
Definitely what it is.
Since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. And we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
What if I told you that a single sponsorship agreement might encompass the entire sports industry? Beyond just sneakers, Caitlin Clark's massive Adidas contract brings to light racial tensions and gender issues. With regard to sports marketing, this transaction totally contradicts what we think is true.
I want A'ja Wilson to have a shoe and every black young lady to have a shoe. But she's marketable, and I'm not saying you young ladies aren't.
You said A'ja who?
A'ja Wilson.
A'ja Wilson.
So from the Aces?
Yes.
That's what everybody's mad
Oh
about
my
because she
goodness.
doesn't have a
Yeah,
sneaker.
that does make sense.
Right. So I'm not saying she's not marketable, but people are up in a frenzy, and nobody was paying attention when I was talking about this during the NCAA tournament, not the sneaker part.
If you're wondering what the big issue is, allow me to clarify. Both A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark were signed by Nike, although at the time, neither of them had a signature shoe. Nike then made the decision to create Wilson's signature shoe while telling Caitlin Clark to wait. Nike then said nothing more, and Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, signed a big contract with Adidas. However, the timing raises concerns because multiple MVP winner A.L. Wilson is about to start creating her own signature shoe, but this time, Nike wants to take the lead.
When you deal with corporate America, it is no feelings involved. It is purely business. And a lot of people get emotional over race, over how good you are, over if this person's a better basketball player, football player, rapper, singer, whatever. It is all about business for corporations in corporate America. And it's all about, can you sell their product?
There are no emotions involved when dealing with corporate America. It's all business, and many people become emotional over race, how excellent you are, or whether this person is a better basketball player, rapper, and football player, whatever the case. Corporate America is all about business and whether or not you can sell their product.
It's Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Reebok, whoever said, could she sell our shoe? Could we sell our shoe? Because when you sit there and say, Caitlin Clark got $28 million, first of all, that equals $3.5 million a year if you do the division.
However, this is where things start to get really interesting because it's not just about two players, it's also about race, gender, and the future of sports marketing. We're talking about a deal that's affecting the entire industry, and we're going to explain why this is so much more than just business, as usual. Get ready, because this story will change the way you think about sports endorsements.
He reports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the third time.
The issue is that by sticking to their tried and true strategy of promoting well-known celebrities like A'ja Wilson, Nike has been playing it safe. However, by focusing on the big names, they might have missed out on the next big thing. Nike has been spotted sleeping, and Caitlin Clark has been making headlines.
He struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring?
They seem to have forgotten that they were dealing with a rising celebrity, and in the sports industry, you know what happens when you snooze, you lose. Nike signed Clark, but what did they do with her? There are no ads, no merchandise, nothing.
So when she turned pro, several shoe companies were after her. Under Armour said she'd be the face of Curry brand, Adidas, and Nike.
Adidas swooped in and made a deal offer to Caitlin Clark that has everyone talking. It's more than just a contract. It's a declaration that Adidas supports and believes in women's sports. Adidas recognized what Nike was unable or unwilling to do.
Now let's talk about regular season viewership, not draft viewership. Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has.
But in addition to being a gifted athlete, this is where things start to get interesting. Since her debut, Clark has seen a 400% rise in WNBA viewing. Can you believe that one player is revolutionizing the entire women's basketball scene? Her games typically draw over 1 million people.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And playing the politics where, oh, we need to release Asia's shoe first. Well, no, it's not Caitlin's fault that you haven't done anything for Asia yet. And maybe think about, why haven't you released something for Asia yet? Is it because you're not sure how it will sell? And if that's the truth, like, that's just business. Why are we coddling these women? You wouldn't see this on the men's side. If a brand thinks they're gonna sell shoes with a player, they're gonna release some stuff. They're not gonna be like, oh, well, so-and-so has been playing in the league a little bit longer, so I'm gonna make sure I get theirs out first, then we'll push Caitlin's 2 seasons. They're saying now that we might not get a signature shoe from Caitlin until 2026 or 2027.
So why did Nike let her get away with it? Maybe it's because of internal politics. Maybe they're too focused on their present stars to see the next big thing right in front of them. Or maybe they're just stuck in the past, whereas Adidas is looking to the future.
He landed a major endorsement deal with Adidas. This partnership is a game changer. It's a huge win for Clark and for women's basketball.
What does this portend for sports marketing going forward? Will there be a leadership transition, or is Adidas set to surpass Nike in women's sports? As everyone's focus is focused on the dollar signs, the plot unfolds, but a controversial question is emerging. Is race a component in this endorsement drama? And if so, how would it change the landscape of sports marketing overall? Although you would think that this is just about contracts and sneakers, there is a lot more going on here. We're talking about a situation that is exposing some more significant issues in the sports marketing sector.
People can love a player, love everything that they're about, and want to buy their shoes. Wilson capitalized on Caitlin Clark, and they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes of them going live. The hype that Caitlin Clark had going into this season, we will not see that again. She came off of playing in a national championship game that had over 20 million people tuned into that game, then going straight into the draft, and then going straight into the WNBA and breaking an insane amount of records.
Let's deal with this matter head on. Some argue that criticism of Caitlin Clark's success goes beyond her skill as an athlete and instead highlights the fact that she is a white athlete participating in a sport with a large Black population. This is a touchy subject, but it is one that we cannot ignore if we want to understand the situation as it really is.
I wonder how many comments they read from Black fans saying something like, don't let the white media promote that white bitch into taking over our game.
To Asia Wilson, but the issue is also raising awareness of gender in sports marketing, so it's not just about race. Clark's contract with Adidas is changing the rules for her, but it's also changing how companies perceive female athletes and their marketability, which has an impact on women's sports endorsements in general.
We're committed to Asia Wilson.
We're witnessing a potential change in the entire sports marketing landscape, and this whole controversy is making us take a close look at representation and recognition in sports marketing. Who gets the big deal? Who gets left behind? And why are questions that brands can't ignore any longer? These leftists are idiots, but this is where it gets really interesting. This situation isn't just exposing problems, it's pushing for change. Companies are being forced to confront their biases and rethink their approach to promoting diverse athletes.
How impressive has Asia been this season?
I think she's the greatest player in the game. I think she's one of the greatest players of all time, and we just need to stand down and recognize and pay homage.
24.0 points per game, 12.1 rebounds per game, and now 1,000 points in a single season. Asia Wilson's stats are off the charts.
Think about this. If Adidas sees Caitlin Clark's potential, what other opportunities might there be that traditional marketing strategies are missing? This could usher in a whole new era of sports endorsements, where companies begin to invest in a greater range of athletes and look beyond the typical suspects. I appreciate you seeing my video.
To the biggest star in sports. It ain't happening. They're lying to themselves.
What does this signify for the future of sports marketing? Will Adidas surpass Nike in women's sports? Or are we seeing a shift in leadership? As everyone's focus is focused on the dollar signs, the plot unfolds, but a controversial question is emerging. Is race a component in this endorsement drama? And if so, how would it change the landscape of sports marketing overall? Although you would think that this is just about contracts and sneakers, there is a lot more going on here. We are talking about a situation that is exposing some more significant issues in the sports marketing sector.
These leftists are idiots.
Think about this. If Adidas sees Caitlin Clark's potential, what other opportunities might traditional marketing strategies be missing? This could usher in a whole new era of sports endorsements, where companies begin to invest in a greater range of athletes and look beyond the typical suspects. I appreciate you seeing my video.